Okay, so hello again. Welcome to our Meet the Facilitators session. As you probably noticed, we started a series of new workshops, the Fusion workshops. And as part of that, we are giving the stage to our facilitators to introduce themselves, to share about their professional and personal path with points of view. And it's an opportunity for us to learn from each other, to get some inspiration, to ask some nice questions, tough questions, whatever you want that you can learn from, that resonate with you maybe after the workshop if you participated in them and you have something to say. So today we have Yeliz from Turkey that facilitated the flip-flop leadership. And we have Ringo from Germany that facilitated the inner child magic. With us today, we have Branka. She was Ringo's helper, but she's also one of our country leaders, and she's familiar with our tools and our methods and working with that a lot. So this is our panel today. And we have 60 minutes to be together. Let's start with a nice pose. Just to tune in. If you want, you can sit, you can lay down, you can stand up and move, whatever suits your body right now. And then we will continue. So feel free, even, I don't know, if you want to close the camera, it's also okay. But just I'm inviting you really to be present, even though we don't see you, nobody looks at you right now, so it's okay. Really be present. Don't go to your emails or phones or notifications. Allow yourself just to be. So enjoy.
sun, melt the cold from my bones, curtain rise, take the darkness from my eyes, breathing in, filling life into my lungs as a child. I am born again. Eastern sun, melt the cold from my bones, curtain rise, take the darkness from my eyes, breathing in, filling life into my lungs as a child. I am born again. Eastern sun, melt the cold from my bones, curtain rise, take the darkness from my eyes, breathing in, pulling life into my lungs as a child. I am born again.
Thank you. Welcome back. And welcome to those who just arrived during the pause. Good to see you here. You're welcome to open your cameras and to be with us. For those who didn't hear before, so I'll just say first welcome. And today we have here Yeliz and Ringo, the fusion facilitators, to share with you some of their professional path with points of view. It's an opportunity to ask some questions. We also have here Branka, Ringo's helper, and also Nurshan joined us, Yeliz helper. So we have a very honored panel here to share about the insights and about how to use points of view tools. For those who don't know me, I didn't say it before. So my name is Marianne. I'm the head of professional development team. And together with Marek and the team, we are structuring and created the fusion workshop, the fusion workshops, and also our tools and the rest of the content that we are creating in the different platforms. So nice to meet you, and I'm happy to have the opportunity really to talk with you today and to hear you, and not just to sit from aside as a silent participant. So this is really an opportunity for us to talk a bit and to ask some questions. And if you have anything to ask, you can write it on the chat or just to mute yourself. Really feel free. It's an opportunity for you to learn, to grow, to do some reflection work with yourself after your experience in Yeliz and Ringo's workshop. By the way, we also have Julia here that just facilitated her own workshop lately. So if you have also questions, so it's open, but feel really free. So if you're ready, I'll just start with the first question to Yeliz and Ringo. Really feel free to share about how you get to know points of view in your life, how it happened, the magic. And of course, say a few words about yourself, like, so we will know that a bit better.
Yeliz, ladies first.
In this group, I think you will be. You have a privilege. Okay, thank you, Ringo. First of all, I want to say I'm very excited about this open talk, what we call, and I don't know where it will lead us, but I'm very happy to be here. This is what I want to say. I'm very content and very happy to be here. And as we are a small group, I think it will be very cozy and very useful for all of us. And before I start, I want to tell about a little bit of my story and how I met with points of view on my path. First of all, my degree is totally different that I learned from the university. It's international relations. International relations. After that, I made a master's degree in organizational development and also organizational culture. So slowly, life took me to a place that I was making organizational development consultancy, HR systems and everything. And then slowly life, I had this place where I understood that the systems are very important. Everything is very important, but the more of it, human is important that is going to press the button to work that system work properly. So at that time, I said to myself that I need to deepen in that. This is how I started coaching about in 2011, I think it was I became a coach. And since then I'm coaching still. And also I'm giving soft skill trainings in the companies. And there I had this feeling that something is not fitting its place. Yes, I'm giving information, they are learning, experientially they are learning, but they are going, let's say, from stress management, but I don't know what they are doing, or each one of them needs is different. And in a training, you cannot measure it because you have a specific time. This is how I came up to meet with points of view. An advertisement came on my computer, on my mail, it's a long story, I'm not going to go that. I have a link, check this out. And you know 101 session movie, it's 3 minutes movie. I think I watched it 100 times. And how it was possible as a coach, how it was fascinating and colorful and yet powerful at the same time. It's so easy, it looks so easy to me. But it can go deep as well. So I found myself in 1 month in Poland in the first L3. I didn't know that it was first till I think 3 years before because they were so professional. And I wrote an email and I went to Poland. And then after this 5 really life-changing days, I said, I want to take this to my country. I need to, because it's so easy and it's so colorful. And at that time I was working in a corporate world, and the corporate world always have 3 colors, black, gray, or green, dark blue. That's it. And you have to be very serious to be taken serious. Like the dress code and everything has to be very, corporate. Otherwise you cannot work. So I said, oh my God, this is so human. And it reminded me all the colors that I skipped during this path. And I'm working with a human, and human is colorful. And this is it, I said. I need to be in this. I need to remind people that this is how nature is. Colorful, round, and it's not square at all. And this is how I started with points of view. And then I was in every part of it. I became a master. I was in the second wave of being a master. I think I wasn't in the first, but since then I was conducting L3s. And when I was a helper, I think in my 3rd helping, I met with Ringo and Corinne. Julia was the initiator at that time, lead facilitator, and I was the helper. And then I went to be a lead facilitator, and there I met with Branka. Yes. And it was fantastic to see that how borders, how countries, how differences is a richness for all of us. And being a human is the common point of all of us. And everybody in the other side of the world is living the same things that you're living. And it was fascinating for me. And I'm dying to be again, to be an L3 conductor again. We just shared with my aunt to be a team back again. it was fascinating, and I'm very devoted to it. And Points of View is my third child. I have two sons, and Points of View is three since I think 7 years it has been already. So I can talk a lot. So Ringo, take it.
Don't worry, you spoke already about my story because we met.
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you meant with the clothes and the gray and the black, because I'm a banker, actually. So we have a nice group here. I worked 26 years in saving bank organizations. In Germany, we say Sparkasse to it. And I worked in different roles as a consultant, and also I led 3 different kind of teams. My smallest teams had 3 team members, my biggest team 28 members. And I was all the time interested to learn more. So I did some personality model stuff. I did a certified trainer, and I was always looking for a coaching method. Let me say this, and everybody in my environment was a business coach, and I was thinking, no, you don't want to be a number as a business coach, as everybody, because everybody in the banking industry who wants to be a coach is a business coach. So I was thinking, no, you don't do this. And actually, I didn't meet Points of View. Points of View met me because I was at a big conference with a lot of speakers in Cologne, in Germany. And all the speakers, they had the opportunity to do some advertise in outside of the conference room. And a friend of me and me, we walked around and we met our country leader, Sam Horn. And he smiled to me, and I will remember always his first words. And maybe I should send an invoice to him, because these first words were very expensive. Do you want to play a game? And at this moment, I was thinking about, should I be a part-time trainer for myself or not? And I was thinking, yeah, why not? So I played this game with him. And coaching game, this layout charts, what do you gain? What do you invest, and what is the insight? And of course, the answer was clear. And I was thinking, no, that's magical. He did something. So we went back in the conference hall, but we couldn't really concentrate. So we came back in the next break to somehow did the game again. Of course, we chose different cards, but the result was the same. And in this moment, I liked it. The cards, the colors. I'm a visual type. I really liked it, and I wanted to go deeper. I did some research, found out in Germany, nobody knows. So I saw actually a business opportunity in it. And then I did level 2 and 1 at this time. It was together with Zemhar. And then I asked him, what do I have to do? And then he said, you have to do level 3. And I said, okay, what is it? When is it? How is it? And he said, it's in Poland and it's in English. I said, okay, forget it. Because you have to know, my English at this time was horrible. But something catched me, and then I decided very quick to go to, I did my L2 in January 2019. I went to Poland in April 2019. Julia, my facilitator, Yeliz, my helper, and Julia, she was very straight in this moment after the "why are you here" question. I knew it's not a business opportunity. It's a personal journey. And yeah, for me, it was magical because as a man, as a banker, but also with my history, I allowed myself first time to ask questions I never asked before to myself. I answered this question, what I never did before. And I faced these challenges. And for this, it was, in this moment, it started more the personal journey. And I'm very thankful for Julia and also for Yeliz on this way, because Julia was also my facilitator in my second L3 in Portugal to become a master, as a second L3, and then later the master. And so it was amazing, and I use it now in this corporate world, what Yeliz said. I really use it in my leadership workshops, what I'm doing. I'm a trainer since 2 years for my own. And you can imagine when you have a group with bankers, high management level, and you start to speak about the polls. And but I do it. And 9 of 10 from them, they ask me to do it again after the lunch break. So at the beginning, they are very, what is it? And then they are very grateful for this little opportunity. And I use it almost in every my workshops with teams or with leadership level. Sometimes only one little method. And this week, for example, at first day, I will do a whole day with 12 managers only with points of view methods and tools. So this is how I use it, how I met points of view. And I said a little bit by fun when I did my workshop, I'm maybe the only crazy person in the world who did L1, L2, L3, and L4 in 1 year. So is it good or not? I don't know, but for me it helped a lot, and I really like it. And I can also speak Yeliz, so don't worry. No? So,
Mayan, you need to stop us.
Yeah, actually, I will take first. It's even for me that I'm in points of view like 5 years already. It's all the time fun to remember how people met points of view and the connection, because we are in touch in a way in a monthly basis, and suddenly I remembering in all the process and everything that we've been through. So thank you also for that, and it's really nice to hear it. I want to take, Ringo, what you said, like to continue with it about the workshops, and really to ask both of you, how do you create a new workshop? Like, for example, until you have like full workshop structured and the script, it takes a lot of time. And I wonder about the first step. What triggers you to create, to choose the topic even? If it's something from the inside that is burning in you, or maybe you're going and like do kind of a market research and see what people needs in your fields and adjust the content according to their needs, like how it works for the both of you.
Well, it depends. For example, for me, most of the time, it comes with a story. Most of the time, I always create a workshop. If I'm doing a freestyle workshop, I'm creating a workshop that is in my life. For example, I can give an example. I think it would be better to explain. For example, the masquerade workshop. I created that workshop with a story that my son wanted to go to a birthday party, and the birthday party concept was with a dress, like they are going to dress like Superman or Spider-Man or Elsa, whatever. But my son rejected it. I don't want to. I want to be like myself. I want to go like me, with my own dress. And it really hit me at that time. And when I go to that place, I saw all the kids with the dresses that are walking around, and they are behaving like themselves. And I'm not wearing a dress. I'm wearing my own dresses, but I'm not acting like me, because there are mothers that I have to be very polite. I wasn't the woman that I was 5 minutes ago in the car. So I have to behave. Then this is how it started. I said, why it's happening? They're acting like themselves, and I'm not acting like me at the moment. And it really hit me from there. From there, it's like knitting. I start creating it. But sometimes it's like the last workshop, the flip-flop workshop. Marek said, we are expecting from you a corporate workshop. And then when he said the corporate workshop, I remembered watching a YouTube video of an MCC in Turkey. I think the ones that are from Turkey will know, Dostcan Deniz, you know him. It was a movie about leadership. And I really got the inspiration from him. And then suddenly, oh my God, this can be a very good workshop. And then I start creating it. But sometimes it depends on the objectives. When I go to a corporate, they're asking me, I'm asking them most of the time, that what do you expect? Like these people will go in a workshop, and after this workshop, what do you expect them to do?
I think this is a very important thing to emphasize. Also for us here, and also maybe for those who will see the recording and will, learn in the future about points of view. Like I can share with you that when we are structuring workshops, as Yeliz said, we are always asking ourselves what are the objectives, like what we want the participants will gain. And I know that some of you, if not all of you here, are facilitators and working with our tools and curious about it. And it's a good starting point to start with the objectives. So thank you for saying that.
Exactly. And like when they said the to do part, then I start thinking about it. Which stones that I need to jump on to go to that big picture. Then it starts already, and how I can do it, and then which tools I can do it. Otherwise, if you start with the tools, it's not working and it's going down. So you have to be with the concrete picture, you start, and then you put your creation afterwards. This is how I do it. So maybe you have another better option.
For me, it's almost the same. What I like to use is sometimes I find out when I speak with people, they also know points of view and they want to have an idea what to do. That a lot of times we forget actually the layout charts we have already, the questions we have already. We want to have always a new idea. And we had this discussion in our tribe with a little group. I asked them, can you tell me all the processes and the questions from the phases layout chart? And they couldn't, because we use always the coaching game. We know the punctum, but how many times do we really look into the phases? Not because of the cards, as the photos, and because of the reflecting cards, because of the layout chart. And I do the same as Yeliz. I speak with the clients, with the companies, and speak about what is the goal at the end, what is the objective, and then I think about what kind of questions could help, what process could help. I can also use the zooming in to speak about leadership. No? Where in your leadership role is the glass half full, and they get a lot of insights, for example. And what I also do, and maybe Branka want to say something without that we not spoke, but Branka and me, we also create a lot of things for the Cyprus tribe, for example.
It can be great if you will share really what is going on also in your tribe. So
yes,
feel free.
So just because she read something and sent it to me, and then we start to create an idea, or we speak about some people we met, or some corporates we have, and just to think about what is the issue from this world, and what could we do maybe. And this is open. This is very often the first step to talk about, and then to create something new. And we have a lot of fun during doing this.
You're deliberately avoiding to say that it usually starts with, hey, this is a good title for a workshop.
Yeah, I don't want to take your words. So,
so actually, you're starting with the title. This is how it works for you. You're new.
Sometimes, sometimes we do. It's just inspiration. We work a lot with intuition, and then if something is catchy enough, then like it will work. It will attract people, and then the background will come.
Yes. I get some. I remember what Mayan we did together the master. I remember what Yaron and Efrat told us about. Yaron has always ideas, and Sorry, Branka, but sometimes I get 3 or 4 WhatsApp from Branka with can be a good title, can be a good title. And then we think about how to use it and or just to save it for later, and time will come to develop it. So this is how it works. But I really want also to say to the group, sometimes I catch myself to make it too complicated. And we have a lot of questions. We have a lot of layout charts. And I would say 80% of the work we do in corporate can be used with all the things we already have, with new directions, with new orders, maybe with changing the end, not private, more professional and something like that. And then you can get very good impacts.
Sounds very interesting. And I want to relate to that because in a way, both of you and also Branka, you're coming from really the corporate world and to, meeting with very serious people. But in the end, you are facilitating also very simple workshops for personal growth. It was back then, Yeliz, that you facilitated in our conference, in the Wings of Change conference, a workshop about our ancestors, and really to connect to ourselves and to our past. Ringo, you also facilitated this workshop also in the conference. Actually, it's the second time because it was so good. So you deliver it again, and it's about, to be playful and to find the child in yourself and to bring it also to corporate world. But in the end, we're not talking, you didn't talk about leadership and about team building and about very structured and heavy stuff. And I wonder really, is there any difference in structuring a workshop for the corporate world or for the personal growth world or field? Like, do you see it differently?
Well, it depends on the objective, what they want. It depends on what the needs of the other side. So, but to talk about generally, I think as masters, everybody, we are working on ourselves as well. And I think what I understood after these years, you cannot separate people that are working during the day and coming back home in the house. They are human everywhere. This is a thing that we need to understand. Yes, we have identities. Yes, we are acting differently, but it's not a separate world because human is human everywhere. If you have a problem at your house, when you go to work, it's coming with you. You're not leaving it there. And if you have something at the work, it's coming with you to the house. And it's not easy to, like a knife, cut it like a knife. No, it's not so easy. So I think the main point is to understand that they are human at the end in the corporate world as well. And also the other side that I can tell about myself, I'm very into the personal development. I'm participating to the retreats, to the courses. I'm open to that also. I'm working on me as well. This is one of the I think musts that you need to do if you're doing this kind of work. And there you're feeding yourself as well. You're getting to your own flesh and bones what you're getting from there. So it's cooking at the end. And this is how DNA came, for example. I said, oh my God, everybody has to understand it. Then I make a research out of it. And then it came up. This is how it starts. I don't limit myself. Oh my God, this is not my area of expertise. I have to postpone it. No, the knowledge is everywhere and it's open to everyone. And I'm sharing what really touches me. And I also have people that I can advise. If it's too much, if it's, I have to stop there, I'm working on it in the kitchen and I'm bringing what is needed at that time. So
yeah, we are always saying that points of view, actually, we're not delivering content. It's kind of an open code. We're delivering a method and everyone can adjust it and suit it to like endless topics in the world. So
exactly.
And Ringo, how about you? Like any difference between creating personal or professional workshop, or it's kind of the same for you?
I agree completely with Yeliz. It's one human. The only difference what I explore all the time is, or what I experience all the time is, when you do corporate, you have to be more careful about the question. Not to go too personal, because when I have 10 people in the C management level, they don't want to speak about their vulnerability. I need to find some questions for their business, for their profession. The good thing is they will also speak about private, but they don't need to find out in the first moment that you will do. So this is for me the only difference when I create workshops for personal or for professional development, to be more careful that the professional development is really about business questions. And but at the end it's the same. And as I started to create my workshop, actually, my children idea, actually it came from a business idea. Because I worked as a manager for 7 years with my last team. I got a son in this time, and he challenged me a lot of things, and he mirrored me, and I found out that there is a lot what we can learn from these little humans, and especially also in our as a manager, as a team lead. And this is how I started to create this idea, really from a business level. It was more an idea to do a speech, for example, to motivate and to let people think about in their work with people, because a lot of managers are very straight in their thinking. They don't support the employee, and that's what I wanted to do with this. And then, because of the global conference last year, I got also this idea, it's maybe also personal development. and this is why I'm not speaking about what it is about, because it depends on the topic and on the issue, what I want to work on it. And if I have an issue in my business world, I can use this. And if I have a problem in my personal world, I can also use this. And this is also a big gain from these tools and methods.
I think the key point here is to, even with a simple question, what is working in your life, the people can cry. So you don't know. In the corporate world, you can just push a button without knowing anything. And I think the most important thing is to embrace it and to celebrate it with them at the end, and to really encourage them that the power of vulnerability is very powerful for them. To unlock the doors, and as a facilitator, be there with them, not to panic, but really to embrace them. Like when your kid falls down and it bleeds everywhere, and if you're panicking, they're panicking also. So just to embrace what is coming and celebrate, because you know that you press the right button with a simple question, and it's fantastic, that moment.
Sounds, we can do like another session just about what you just shared right now.
Yeah.
I want to open it, like if somebody else here has any question that you want to ask. So please, I still have some questions, but but I want also to give you the opportunity to mute yourself, to ask something, maybe a dilemma or something technical or something emotional or whatever.
Oh, can I ask a question?
Sure.
What are the youngest age groups that you've used the tools with, either Ringo or Yeliz?
Ringo, you want to go?
I don't know, Branka, was it 5 years old, or do you want to say something?
Yeah, 5 years old.
Okay.
In which tool?
Punctum and faces.
Wow.
Not reflection cards, just the faces game. Faces, photos.
For me, it was my son, as it was about should we buy a dog or not. Then we used coaching game. And after this, he played half an hour because he liked it. But with the group right now, it's young age, so 20. But if you would ask me in a few weeks, then I can put this age down, because we are about to go to junior school and senior school in Cyprus. And then we will use it second or third grade. And for people and for the youth, they have the last school year.
For me, it was 7-year-old, and I didn't give them any thing. It was my son and his friends together, and I said, talk about friendship with the cards, and I gave the coaching game cards, and it was all open, and they start choosing it and playing it with themselves, and it was a fantastic session, and it was wonderful. I inspired it from one of our very first participants to L1, and it's probably still on our website, that she filmed it from her daughter, and I said, oh my God, this is so nice. And the kids are playing like a domino game. And it was fantastic. What they talk about friendship. It was very deep.
I just remember I also used it in the class for my son, because a teacher was leaving, and I was coming there, and I used the coaching game that every classmate had to choose a card and to give it as a gift to the teacher who is leaving. And all of them loved it. Teacher was crying, you can imagine. But all the kids, they really found a lot of nice messages to the teacher. And it was half an hour. No, it's not about a process or about a session or about a day. It's just to use it.
I can share that. I'm a mother of twins. They are 1 year old, and part of their games is our cards. Instead of ripping books, I just gave them the coaching game cards to observe it, to play with it, to do whatever babies can do. But it's there for them, just to to experience it and to see how they play with it, what intrigues their eye. They love the awareness so much with the watermelon. So actually, there is no age for our tools in a way. Do you have any other questions here? Feel free.
Well, I have another one. Are there any areas that you would consider really are taboo when creating a session? You would say you've tried and it's like, don't go there because the response, or you weren't emotionally equipped to deal with the fallout or the way people responded. Is there anything that you would say this needs another type of approach in your experiences? Because you are, this is a great question with the people here because of the wealth of experience you have. And that is always my biggest fear, is if you have a session going in, someone, and you think, well, I didn't think this through enough. I shouldn't have done this.
In my experience, I never had 10 people from 10 participants, they liked it. You always have 1 or 2 or 3, they are a little bit thinking about, do I like it? Will I do it? But the whole group will engage them to do it and to like it. So I never had this experience to fail. The only thing what I can imagine is when I would get an offer from a company and they will tell me before, none of them want to come to the seminar. They were sent to the seminar, all of them. Then I would think about, will I use point of view or will I use something else? Because maybe it can be good to use it to surprise, but then I'm with Yeliz, it depends on the objectives and on the topic. but this is the only thing or the only point where I would think about, would I use it or not, when they are not there by themselves, for example. But I I know people that did it with leadership. I know people that did it with schools. I know people that did it with in the banking industry, with compliance, with so there's no topic what I cannot imagine what you can do with this.
I'm with Ringo about it. I think it's very important. If I know the target audience that I'm going to work with, and if I have an instruction that I need to go this far, not far away from that, I'm keeping those distance because it's not my job. But if it's an open group and somebody comes and it's not my type of expertise and it went that way, then what can we do? Somebody fall in the dig over there and you have to pull it back. And I have some instruments to pull them back. And if I don't have, I'm serving from love and I do what instinctively what I need to do. And for example, I had in one of our groups somebody like this, and it's not my expertise. And I took her from there and I told her that she needs to see someone that is expertise of this. It's not my job. But at that time, you cannot leave her like that. And you can just put some sand on it, but you have to go to put the fire down to an expert. It's not my area, I can say that. But if you're serving from the place of love, you cannot fail. This is what I experienced so far.
Yvonne, I think that it was, sorry. Yvonne, I think it's a very important question. And in a way, you touched in one of our biggest challenges as facilitators. Mm-hmm. We need to remember that, as also Yeliz mentioned before, you can ask very small questions that for us is not something too big that needs to shake the world. And for the other person, it's a huge one. And it can be in a very simple way. It can be even in the pause music that we're playing. For one, it will be, okay, nice, 4 minutes. I just muted my phone, it's okay. And for others, it can really take them to a very deep level of something. So it never ends. And we need to be open for it as facilitators, that we have a range of emotions, in the happy, in the high, in the mania, but also in the low and in the depression and in the other side, that it's also part of us and we need to know how to contain it. And this is it's a big thing that we need to work on also and to be minded to it. So thank you for this good question.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to add something. I had a call last week with Vanessa from South Africa, and she because I get a lot of calls from people. They ask me for she want to do something with points of view, and can you help me with the structure or with some questions? And Vanessa also asked me and asked for an opinion. And she had a big conference last Friday with 180 people. And the difference when you do a workshop, when you feel the energy and the reaction from everybody, or if you stay on a stage and you don't know what they are doing. It's completely different, and also it's very difficult to imagine to do it with points of view. And we spoke about, and she wrote me amazing WhatsApp at Friday. She did it. It was very successful. 180 people. It was an insurance company, so it's also not really the way you can imagine to use points of view. and she got very good feedback, and she said very good energy. Everybody liked it. So sometimes we have to face our own fears, just to challenge this, and just to figure out what can I do and how far I can do. And this is so there are no limits actually, except yourself.
Any last question from your side? Someone? Really feel free before we continue.
I've got one. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi Anna,
Yes,
thank you.
hello. I'm from the non-governmental organizations sector, so from NGOs, and I've been working like not with the corporate world or with the companies, but rather with the activists or project managers or young people or young adults for the last like 15 years as a trainer mainly. And I met points of view like just recently. And since I would like to kind of expand the groups I'm working with and move a little bit from the NGO sector towards different working groups, I was wondering whether you have any hints about how points of view connected to NGO experience could be an asset. You know, it's like it's a bit personal question, like kind of private, but not private, but kind of personal. But if you could like, because I could hear Yeliz sharing already, like a very interesting view that points of view as a method that bring color to a very square world of the companies. And I do like clap on it, like I can feel it. Is there anything else that you could see or identify or suggest could be an asset of like merging, like connecting these two elements to deliver it in the, to the more business world, I would say. I don't know if I said the question clearly.
No.
No. Thank you.
If you put it like what do you want to know?
How to connect? Want to connect points of view to the corporate world or to the NGO world? Or how to connect
points of view and my background with something I could give to the corporate world. Because I don't know it.
Okay, maybe I can add on this because I work with many NGOs and for many volunteering companies, and I have been mentor for startups for many years, and I'm also a corporate trainer, so I maybe understand a little bit better the question where you're aiming with it. Basically, what you do with NGOs and how you trigger them and the feedback that you get from them and testimonials and how they see the world can help you informing the questions in the corporate world and how to challenge them to get out of their comfort zone and to change their perspective, because corporate world is very rigid. Like we have a banker, we have organizational consultant, and we have a compliance officer. Okay, I'm a legal consultant in compliance, so I've been always looking at these details very rigidly. And what I've been missing in my world is this creativity, this psychology, this openness, and with NGO aspect and seeing that they really need help in something, you can bring that in the corporate world. And I do that sometimes. I had a head of compliance in the bank, and I wanted to do a points of view workshop, and they said, no way, it doesn't work. It's not gonna work. It's, I don't know, tarot, it's, like a game. And I said, okay, let's try. So I knew that they wouldn't do the pause with music. So what I did a 3D breath. Okay, that they accepted to do, like breathe in, hold for 5 seconds and breathe out 3 times. That was the pause. And then I said, okay, so think of a question and choose a card. And I mean, really, there's somebody upstairs is taking care of us because the card they pulled out was transparency from Flow. And we were talking about ethics and anti-corruption and anti-fraud, and the card was transparency. Okay, so they said, you did something. Okay, you have your go with the workshop. And I created a corporate workshop that has to do with ethics and procrastination. It's called Elephant in the Room, because it's very easy to see, but nobody wants to talk about it. And it was amazing success. And I even did it at the anti-corruption conference and the gaming conference for people. So you can bring that NGO aspect to corporate by really sharing the experiences what you had in the NGO and bringing it in the corporate world. Maybe that answers part of your question.
Thank you, Branka, very much. It does help.
Okay, so we are getting closer to like the... Ringo, do you have anything to add or release before we are continuing?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say because it's Branka's expertise, so I don't want to say anything on it. So I think she said enough. The only thing is that I think the main question is what impact do I want to create there? Like what is missing? And with these cards, the cards answer all the open-ended questions, not yes, no questions, but all the open-ended questions. What, why, how? So this is it. This is the tool. But before touching the tools, I think the most important is to understand what is missing and how I can create, what I can create, what I want to create, the impact on it. Because NGO, corporate, X, Y, Z, it's not separated. I think this is the point that we need to understand, that right, left brain, they are not separated. They are working together. Together is the key word. So corporate or personal, it's not separate, it's the same. To understand it and to bring it together and not to make a separation. And, oh, this is not going to work there. This is going to work. I don't think that. If you put it on the table, it will work anyway. This is my experience. From the experience, I can say that.
No ads from my side. I was happy to have a joker with Branka, so don't worry.
I think also you can come with, you can ask Branka directly what you can create. I think she will help you with that.
Thank you guys very much.
Which actually leads us to kind of the end of this session. So first I invite Yeliz, Branka, and Ringo really to write your, if you want, your contact info on the chat. If you want to continue communicate with this group, if you have more questions in the future, so you can reach out. And like last question that I wanted to ask you. Okay, I see that you're typing, so I'll wait for a second. Okay, so last question that I wanted to ask you, also you, Branka. In like, let's try in like 1 or 2 sentences. What is your golden tip for creating a points of view workshop?
What is our golden tip? What
is your one golden tip for creating a points of view workshop? If somebody here wants to initiate something with points of view, it doesn't necessarily need to be like a 2 days or 5 days or 7-day workshop. It can be a 1-hour session also. What is your golden tip for us to make it work?
Maybe that's more than one tip, but I try to put it in one sentence. For me, is it keep it simple. Think about the objectives and use what is already there. This is my tip.
Amazing. Super important. Thank you, Ringo. Liz, Branka?
For me, I think it's to be curious and to be open to everything. For example, if you're reading a book, even from a book, you can create a workshop. So be open to everything. You don't have to create, you don't have to, as Ringo said, you don't have to discover America back again. So it's there already. So sometimes when you're reading, be open to, oh my God, this can be a workshop also. Like all the formulates and everything that is given in the books, it's already a workshop. So you can create your own from inspiring from every other. So it needs to be open.
Thank you.
There is this nice saying that says, no matter how imperfect, no matter how scary, no matter how unknown, you need to start. And the best time to start is now. So if there is one tip I would want to share is start making your workshops and see, you know, it's a trial and error, it's testing. Some workshops will give you the objective, some won't, then you can fine tune them, but start making your own workshops.
Thank you, Branka. Okay, you get some good tips here, actually. Okay, so thank you also for putting all your details on the chat. And hi, Sumhar also. And we are closing the session. I do invite you to stay connected in our tribe space. You can just write a post and start a discussion with the question that you have, or to share about experience that you had, or a challenge or dilemma, whatever. It's really our safe space only for our tribe members, no commercials, no ads, aside. So it's really our clean space to just to bond and to learn and to communicate with each other. Thank you, Yeliz and Ringo and Branka, for being here, for sharing from your wisdom and for inspiring us. Thank you also the participants here for your questions, for listening. I hope you were inspired this way or another. Our next session, actually we have another one like this in 2 weeks from now on August 30. We will meet Rina and Salmon. So it's another opportunity to meet more of our facilitators. And again, this recording will be in our tribe, and you can rewatch, to write comments, ask questions, whatever. We are here for you. So thank you again for your time, and I hope to see you soon, hopefully this week even. So enjoy enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye, everyone.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.